Good morning, Big Brother fans. It is Sunday, July 31st, day 26 in the Big Brother house. And I didn't do an update yesterday just because I didn't feel like it. It was a day of I will recap what happened yesterday as well as nominations that happened on Friday. So the last time I talked to you was right after we found out that Monty had won the next head of household. So, as we kind of speculated, it looked like we thought the next target might be Nicole, might be Alyssa. I said it could be Daniel was what I had kind of thought. Maybe the ones that would be the most likely to go. That more focused down to just Nicole or Alyssa yesterday. And they had the drawings for the Power Veto players, and Daniel and Kyle were the extra bestie group. Now we say group because now Joseph, Terrence, and Monty are a threesome. And so, I skipped Monty's nominations. Monty did end up nominating Alyssa and Indy. The thought being that they had waffled on whether they wanted to put Nicole and Taylor up, and there was some talk about Taylor doesn't need to go up yet again. But then, and Taylor was a bit hesitant, and Joseph seemed to be pushing for that angle, but then they ended up going with Indy and Alyssa. It just flip-flopped several times. It's like, are they going to want to get Alyssa? Because Kyle kind of wants Alyssa, or at least wanted Alyssa gone. More on that later. But others wanted Nicole gone. There wasn't much talk about trying to get rid of Daniel. So it was more Nicole. She's been very, very, aggressive. And so I think she's not in good standing with several of the women as well as the men. So remember, she was an add-on to the Girls Alliance, even though actually in her exit interview that I saw on Friday, Amira didn't say that she was a part of the Girls Alliance. By the way, exit interviews with Amira, those were good. You should check them out. The three main ones would be Mike Bloom, Justin Ross? From Entertainment Weekly, and Sharon from Us Weekly. Sharon had the video one in addition to the written. Really good. Should check those out if you haven't already. But in that, Amira specifically said, Nicole wasn't a part of the Girls Alliance, and she cited the reason why. And for what it's worth, I mean, she said both Nicole and Taylor the first night really hung out with the guys more than the girls, and that cast suspicion on them. And it's true, they did. They were definitely out with the guys. I mean, Nicole was much more tight with Daniel to start with, and Taylor was out. I mean, they even showed it on the second night show. They showed Taylor out playing pool with the guys while the girls were huddled in the back room, and that is kind of where it started to form. Now, it didn't help that Paloma and Jasmine were both really anti-Taylor from the start. So, but we're going over old stuff now, so I will catch up and go forward. But those are interviews are worth checking out with Amira. And so we end up with Nicole and again Alyssa, who's paired with Indy, kind of being the two focuses of the attention of the Leftovers Alliance, who were kind of, deciding or trying to decide who they think should be the target. In the end, Monty went with Indy and Alyssa and kind of reassured both of them that they were not the targets. You're not the targets. And I watched some feeds Saturday where they would reassure them. Both Monty talked to both Alyssa and Indy about the situation, and Alyssa actually said, I'm not 100%. You're looking at Monty was very clear. He's like, I want to go after Taylor and Nicole would go up, but Taylor's my target. But Alyssa even said, well, if Nicole's your target, just let me know, because I'm kind of sketchy about her too. But Monty said, no, it's Taylor. But he said there won't be a blindside this week. And I'm thinking, yeah, you guys kind of do want a blindside this week, but maybe they want to get a blindside only for the person going out, being Nicole, and try to get a house consensus on getting her out. Maybe that's what Monty's angle is. I watched that conversation, and watched Monty just take Alyssa down the path and be like, nope, no blindsides this week. We're going to be, we've had enough of that, yada yada. And then after he finished talking with Alyssa, he talked to Indy. And for those of you that like my squirrel moments, I am driving, and here comes a crop duster that may go right over the car in a second. We'll see. And I know none of you can see this, but this happens every year when I'm driving. At some point, the crop dusters are out spraying. And let's see if it's this field that he was doing. There it is right there. He's literally going over my head right now. Oh, no, he's turning. You won't be able to hear him, but there he went. So it's kind of fun to see those crop dusters going around. Yes, squirrel moments indeed. So after Monty talked to Alyssa, he talked to Indy. Indy was like dumping a lot of intel on Monty, and I honestly didn't go back and watch all of it, but I could see some of it was happening. But in part of it, she said that Joseph was a potential backdoor target at one point during, I think, Jasmine's reign. And so that was information that I don't think Monty had, and I believe he went and shared it back with other people. But the point is, Indy seemed more than willing to throw some people under the bus in order to secure her safety. And he again reassured her, you're not the target I want it to be, we don't want to do any blindsides this week, et cetera, et cetera. So that was all before the, I don't know if it was before the player pick, but it was definitely before they played Power Veto. In the player pick, Daniel and Kyle were the extra players picked to play. Now they were the extra bestie pair picked to play. So you had 7 people playing in the Power Veto, but they played as besties. And it sounded like, from their description, it was kind of a memory. They'd watch a video. They'd have to describe a video or talk about a video from one pot. Forget about the triple. Think about just the pairs. Figure one person's watching a video and talking to another person. But I remember they specifically said there was a lot going on, a lot of things to remember, and some of it was worthless. So I don't know how the triple pair worked. I think it was just basically 2 people were, I think one person was watching and 2 people were doing actions based on that watching. I don't know if that would give them an advantage or what. I'm sure however they did it, I'm sure it was done in such a way that there was no big advantage to being in a triple. Sorry for the rumbly noise if you hear it. I'm passing a vehicle. All right. So, we had the Power Veto names drawn. They did the Power Veto competition, as I described. The winners in the end, Daniel was the one wearing the medallion. But it seems like they kind of worked in pairs or triples, so I'm just not sure if Daniel and Kyle are considered the winner or if just Daniel. But it did seem like it had to be a consensus on whether they were going to use it or not. But this is an interesting conundrum to be in, of course, because in some ways Kyle wants to get rid of Alyssa, who he sees as a roadblock because she's all interested in a showmance, and he's trying to avoid a showmance, but she's very persistent. And Daniel, of course, is besties and not besties with Nicole. He's besties with Kyle, but he's in a Final 2 alliance with Nicole. But Nicole is also besties with Taylor, which she set up last week because she wanted to be a pawn and have Taylor evicted. And so the thought was, well, can people are like, well, will Daniel be willing to use the Power Veto so that Nicole and Taylor can go up, and he might lose his final two. And that seems to be the plan at this point. I'm going to fast forward here and kind of, I don't know if I'm going to skip anything, but as of this morning, as of late last night, it does seem like Daniel may use the power of veto. And Nicole is a bit suspicious and thinks that she may be going, and she's a bit worried, but at the same time, they're getting all kinds of reassurance that things are okay. So I don't know. And the power of veto, by the way, isn't until tomorrow, till Monday. So we got a whole nother day to work through this. So I hate spending too much time speculating because it's going to go back and forth even today while they think about it and talk about it. And who knows, somebody could have a blow up. Maybe Indy will just freak out and they'll just go like, you know what? Let's just get rid of Indy because she's freaking out. Or maybe Kyle will go, I can't have Alyssa around here anymore. We've got to get rid of Alyssa because she's come on very strong. And Kyle is breaking down and having troubles resisting. There was lots of hugging last night and like little pecks on the neck and the arm and the shoulder. And Kyle was just, you could tell he was just really having problems holding back. So there is a chance that Kyle may say, guys, we got to get rid of Alyssa. I can't have her in here. We'll see if that develops today. The other thing, I did post a video clip and people would report it on it, or a couple other things. Oh, there's a couple more. Man, there was a clip that I posted of Nicole saying that Julie doesn't is willing to confront people with their issues, and that she should, and that people should be called out for their stuff. It's just rather interesting because chances are Julie will be calling Nicole out for some stuff when she gets out of the house, whenever that happens to be. And then finally, Jasmine and Kyle, actually. Last night, Jasmine was sitting in the backyard. The backyard opened back up yesterday, by the way. And Kyle and I think maybe Joseph, they were goofing around, doing dances and stuff. And I think it was Turner was sitting next to Jasmine on this recliner chair. And all of a sudden, as Kyle was kind of moving right in front of Jasmine, she pulled up her foot and said, ow, ow, ow. And I'm, and then Kyle was like, oh, I'm so sorry. And she's like, no, I'm okay. But she wasn't. She was, moaning and groaning. And she said Kyle bumped her foot and it pushed her foot back. And, her foot's, this major thing at this point. And as it turned out, at least in the video replays that we have, the one that we have, it really doesn't look like Kyle touched her foot. It really looks like she was faking it. And they went as far as to get ice for her ankle and stuff. And it's like eyes rolling back in the head like, oh my God, how long is she going to be doing this ankle thing for? Thought she was finally kind of getting over it, but no, she's milking it some more. So I don't have much sympathy for her. I'm not saying it wasn't bruised. We've seen the bruising. We know it was kind of hurt. But at the same time, she's young. She needs to be actually putting some weight on it and working on it now. I don't think they don't seem to be any, they don't have it in a boot. They don't seem to be any major concerns about it by Big Brother. They would force her to do certain things if they really thought it was, because they got liability here. And if something bad happened, they would, need to cover that and take care of that. And they're okay with her just going on with her rap. And so anyways, yeah, Jasmine, she's a trip. She is a trip. And she's going to be around for quite a while. So that's what's up, guys. It is, again, Sunday. I'm expecting it should be a quiet kind of day. There's going to be lots of talking and stuff going on, but in the end, I still think Nicole's going to end up going up along with Taylor, and I think Nicole's going to be the target, but I'm not saying anything for sure until the actual, once the power veto is done, we should have a pretty good idea who's going. If Nicole and Taylor end up, it should be Nicole. If Indy and Alyssa end up, it probably should be Alyssa, unless Indy really spirals and unless Kyle and Alyssa have more of a relationship and Kyle starts to decide he wants to keep her around. The funny thing is, side note, Kyle's mom is not rooting for Kyle to be in a showmance with Alyssa. He does not want her to do this, and she's actively rooting against it, and it's kind of funny. to see it online that she's kind of like going, no, be strong, Kyle. So that's what I got for you guys. Thanks for listening. Hope you have a good Sunday, and we will talk to you tomorrow. Thanks again to my patrons. Shout out to all of you and everyone else who hangs around and listens and shares it with their friends and all that good stuff. Okay? Be well. Again, we'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.